New York City is set to become the litmus test for the rest of the nation on whether or not these so-called congestion tolls are going to help stop gridlock traffic and also raise money for certain cities. Now, they mention NYC here, but in the article, they also go on to mention Boston. And the leadership inside of NYC has said, all right, look, why don't we charge $11.52 per car and $25.34 per truck for anyone that wants to go into this downtown heart of the city district, into this zone, so to speak. And that's the beginning talk. Now, the leadership out of Boston was also mentioning trying to charge people $5 to go from one zone to the next. And notice how they're breaking these whole places down by not neighborhoods or towns, but zones. Okay? So they want to say that they're doing these things in Europe and places like France, I guess. And I see what else is going on in Europe and places like France. And they're saying at this point, they're looking at a toll booth, like a stopping toll booth. They're saying they're behind in terms of the radar and the cameras. So it can only go two different ways here. Either there's going to be a toll booth, which is going to stop everybody in the process. They're going to have to pay so they can get that money. Or they're going to set up these radars. They're going to set up cameras. And they're going to start ticketing people en masse. And the whole point they're going to say is to get people, well, if they're ticked off, slow down or pay attention, do what you're supposed to do in the city. Or, if they're doing something wrong, or basically just driving through. So there's a lot of different ways that they could approach this, but if they're just going to start pinging every single car, that means they're going to be reading license plates and everything else, tracking everything. And I was expecting some form of tracking to get rolled out because they've been putting up mystery equipment all throughout NYC and at the end of the tunnels and things like that for some time. But I'm not sure how this is going to work out, which way it's going to go yet. But this is what they're talking about in NYC, and you can expect it in other big cities as well if it works out here and if they roll it out, because Boston's already talking about it. I'm going to leave a link. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for more. It's been Dabu7. Peace.